Welcome back, everybody. This is Urban Sprawl, and I want to start this episode by giving you an update. I have really enjoyed the last couple of days. I've been pottering around the server, thinking of different ways to do upgrades and to make a few things a little bit easier and or nicer. I think you can guess the first one. If you can't hear it, I made a bee farm. So now I've got wax. I can go around and wax all those copper lanterns that I've got around the place because I do prefer, in some builds, I do prefer the orange opposed to the oxidised copper. Although I do like the green. I'm not saying the green is unwanted. Just some builds I prefer the orange. So I made a little bee farm. It's very compact, and there is redstone. Look, redstone, and I understand it. The comparator is taking the signal from the beehive, and when it gets full, I think five signals, it will send the signal around. It will activate the dropper, which is full of shears, and that will shear the beehive. So I'm getting lots and lots of wax or honeycomb. I'm very tempted to swap out some of these for bottles so I can collect bottles of honey as well, because now that I'm an expert in redstone. Yes, I did say that completely tongue-in-cheek. I am not a redstone expert in any way, but I'm thinking now that I'm starting to get some different builds under my belts, I might end up needing some more honey blocks. Like the bamboo farm uses slime blocks. I'm thinking maybe some honey blocks will be needed in the future, so I might swap out maybe just one or two of the dispensers. A dispenser. It's a dispenser, not a dropper. There's my little honey farm. I got this design from Trilams, and it is so simple. You know, the hardest thing about building this was the bees. And yes, I did have the bees in their little beehives when I constructed it, but some of them only had one or two bees, so I had to breed them up. The first one I bred really easily. The second one I bred, they all escaped, and I had to wait till night time for them to go back in their hives. So that was the hardest thing, breeding up some more bees. So that's one improvement that I've made, and I have already done a circuit waxing some of the lanterns. Another change, and I think you will agree that this is probably the bigger change, is the wool farm itself. Usually I land in this little stretch of lawn area. I land here and I go in this door, and I usually have to kill that. I usually have to trim that vine. That's how I usually enter, and then I go down the drop shaft and come up the bubble vator. That's how I've been operating. Now I'm going to be going through these doors. Check it out. So there's the old system. I've still got them, but I figured it might be faster to put in stairs. And as you can see in the top right, I have a beacon. My iron farm has produced enough iron blocks for another beacon. So I have got a beacon inserted in the wool shed. And it pains me that the beam isn't in the centre. It's close to being in the centre as possible. So I had a decision, that side or that side. And most of my farms and most of the city at the moment is out this way. So I decided to put it on the side that I considered the front. So we've got a beacon, and I've got haste so I can speed around, because what I'm about to show you really requires me to be moving a little bit faster. So nothing else has changed up here apart from the beacon beam going up through the floor and the roof. What has changed is below. Ta-da! I've opened it up and I've got a lot more storage and a lot more copper golems. If you have a look at the mini map, lots of copper golems. Some of them have been waxed. The original ones I've waxed with the honeycomb from the bee farm. So, and I have gradually been moving items around like this. None of this has changed. This section hasn't changed much at all. One thing that I did do is put sea lanterns up in the shelves running around. I think that looks quite nice. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, I'll explain the sea lanterns in a second because that's something else I'm excited to show you. I did have some things stored up above, but while I've been moving things around, I've been emptying some of the chests up above, and I've noticed that some of them, not all of them, but some of them, the copper golems have actually accessed. So I've been finding random items stored in the top chests. I didn't think they could reach them. So I've had to go around and make sure those top chests have got an item coding. Otherwise I had all sorts of weird, like ceramic bricks and other things being stored in the top shelf. I didn't realise they could reach. I've been to the Nether and I've collected a lot more quartz because what I want to do is build up my redstone. I want to make a heap of comparators and repeaters and pistons and observers and all those goodies. I want to make a really nice collection of redstone. So when I do decide I want to build something else, I've got it already. That's my explanation of this. It does look a bit ratty at the moment, but redstone is the thing that I'm finding I'm short of. And this might look like a lot, but I had to trade to get all that. So I haven't been mining for some time. And given that I used to really enjoy being underground and just digging, I haven't got any redstone. Stripping those two mountains down has given me ample cobblestone, stone and dirt, so I haven't needed to mine. So my redstone store is really diminished and I've had to trade, and that's something else I'll show you shortly. This one is my treasure chest, I guess you could say. I've got enough for a beacon, and I do have enough to make another beacon. I'm just waiting for my iron farm to build up enough iron blocks. So I'm not sure where to put this one at the moment. I was thinking of scattering them around the city, so I've got different effects in different areas. Like here I need haste because there's such a big area. It is a crazy big area for a storage room, but I like it. So we've got the wart and the crimson. The ones where you can see the item frame are the new ones pretty much, because I can't remember how to make them invisible. I've got lots of fish. Lots and lots of fish from the fish farm. But that's something else I want to show you. We've got some more block types. Sand, we've got sandstone, we've got concrete and concrete powder, we've got brick blocks, we've got blackstone. When I went back to the Nether to get all the quartz, I started collecting blackstone. I don't have much. We've got some basalt, so we've got some more different blocks here, and this is where it sort of pitters out. And the ones with sand are just empty. So I think all of these ones have just got sand in, because I don't know what to store there yet. Here I've got wool, even though I do still have my wool sorting system, which is the positioning of it isn't the best, but it's directly below the wool farm, because the wool's coming down there from the wool farm and then it's being sorted. I don't want to move it because there's a lot of involvement in moving that, and there isn't a better place for it, basically. I thought if these get full, these double chests, I can always start putting it over there. And I've also got carpet in here as well. So this isn't just wool, this is carpet as well. Scaffolding, I've got arrows. Now, this looks empty, but I have just dumped, or I'm about to dump, a lot of arrows into the system. Yes, I've been down to the Skelly farm and I've brought up a lot of arrows just to store, because the chests down in the Skelly and the zombie farm are chocker. It looks like they're still making their way around. This is a very slow sorting system. It's handy. The copper golems are very cute and they're very handy, but by jingoes, they're slow. And here this is a bit more organised. I've got some things here that will be useful. I've got 4 honey blocks. So that's why I need to get the beehive or the honey machine, have bottles in it. And then around here is the I don't know where to put it box. So I want it to be set up so I can just put a shulker after I've been out and about or doing a build. I can just put a shulker on there, and it will empty it and it will cycle around. And when the shulker's empty, I'll destroy it. And I've got a little chest in here, so the copper golems put the shulkers in there for me, which is very handy. I like that miscellaneous box because it's a good way of finding items that you haven't actually designated a storage area for yet. So we got the miscellaneous box there. So it's nice having the speed boost with the beacon, especially in this area. So that's an update that I've made to the wool shed. Let me show you what else I've been doing. Now, I said my redstone was a little bit lacking. I'm very short on redstone because I haven't been mining that much recently. Redstone is sold by clerics, and the enchanted goods and potions shop is where the clerics generally hang out. But they've been wandering around and I've noticed some new ones. So obviously I've had some get killed off and I've had some new ones take on the job. So to make it easier for me to find them, I've got these two guys down in the floor a little bit, and they sell redstone and they take rotten flesh. So I just go down to the zombie spawner and bring up chests of zombie flesh, and I basically do a trade for redstone. While I was getting these two into position, I had a bit of an accident. That's what they're standing on drops down to the basement. So I had a few accidents, but I fixed it. I've got these guys all have that same trade. So I just bring up chests and chests of rotten flesh and we do a trade. I've got a bit of more organisation with my villagers, which is proving to be very helpful. Another change that I've been pottering around with is out at the floating farm. Can you guess what I've made? And I really want to show you because it is quite clever and it's making life a bit easier for me. So let's go to the floating farm and I'll show you. Here we are at the floating farm. And one thing you'll notice behind me, I've got a couple more bees. So I've been breeding up bees and I went back to the mainland to find another hive with bees in. Bees make the place feel really homely. And inside I've got a chest just here with bottles, so I can collect the honey. And a couple of episodes ago I redecorated the inside of the fish farm. I did some huge modifications and moved things around so it's a bit nicer in here now. Now I want to go down and show you what I've been doing down here. So if you remember, I've got this little sorting room down here with copper golems, and I had so much prismarine a crazy amount of prismarine, which I still do, but it's not at the point. Sorry, I'm just going to turn. I'm just going to turn them down a bit more. As I was saying, I don't have a scary amount of prismarine anymore, especially the crystals. This chest here and this chest here, I need to make sure are topped up, which, as you can see, I have been doing, and I'm running out of the prismarine crystals, which is why I need this. If you notice, that number's dropping down, and that's because I've got something in a lower level, which I'm so excited to show you guys. And this one's running down as well because they've got hoppers underneath. Let's go down and have a look. I'm so excited to show you guys. Now, this isn't finished. I do want to build this out a little bit more and decorate it so it's like a little workroom. But look, I've made a sea lantern machine. Look how many sea lanterns I've got. This is such a small, easy build. I thought making sea lanterns, given the recipe for it, I thought that was going to be really complicated, but this build, I found this little sea lantern machine on Ray's Works channel, titled 3 Easy Auto Crafters to Make Every Minecraft Item. He's got an episode where he goes through how you can use the auto crafters to do pretty much everything. And this, I love it. Look how small it is. Look how small and compact it is. So I'm going to be able to have a little bit of a work area, like a workroom down here. So I do need to build that yet. This is going to be nicer looking, but look. That's why I need those 2 chests to be topped up. Apparently this machine, when it runs out of resources, won't lose the pattern because that comparator will turn it off. If the system notices that the hoppers doesn't have all 64 stacks, it won't make any more, so it's not going to lose the recipe, which is awesome. Look at it. I'm thrilled. Like I said, I don't really know. I couldn't have come up with this design by myself, but building these machines is helping me sort of understand them. I do need to take some back with me because I've got some more shelves down in the wool shed basement to decorate. I'm so excited about this. So I just need to spend some time out here and it will just keep making sea lanterns for me, which I think is awesome. Something else that I want to show you is the villagers. If you remember the 2 villagers that came with us, they were relocated. They've finally taken a trade. I finally got a fisherman. The farmer was pretty much, when I was getting them in here, he connected to the composter. So I've got a farmer, but the fisherman, I finally got one. And look what he buys. He buys raw cod and tropical fish and puffer fish and salmon. He buys raw cod. How cool is that? So all the raw cod that I get from the fish farm, I can come up here and sell it. Now, this might be my inexperience in trading with villagers, but I've got fishermen back in the city, and none of them buy raw cod. I think all the fishermen back in the city will buy a stack or 2 of salmon, raw salmon, and that's expensive because raw salmon, you don't get a lot of it out of the fish farm. But he buys raw cod. I was thrilled when he finally took a trade and I realised that. So I've got a little chest around here, which is usually full of raw cod. And he buys raw cod. So this fish farm, I can be trading with the fishermen while my sea lanterns are getting created. And I've got you can't hear them because I've got the sound right down. But I can be getting XP. I can be having sea lanterns made. And I can be getting emeralds by trading with that fisherman. How awesome's that? So all these I can get rid of. I just think it's awesome. And he wants 14 cod too, so he's coming down in price, but he doesn't take a lot. And then you've got to wait around for him to reset, which is annoying, but something that I'm happy to do. So that's how I've been getting my emeralds. Let me know if you've ever had a fisherman buy raw cod, because I've had them buy salmon, and for one raw cod and an emerald they'll cook it for you, but I've never seen a fisherman buy raw cod before for 14. I'm so excited. Let me know if you've ever experienced that, guys. I'd love to hear if you've seen that before. I was very excited to show you the fish farm upgrades, guys. I'm just smiling. I don't know if you can hear the smile on my face, but that fisherman is making life a lot easier for me, and it's helping me get my emeralds up so I can buy redstone to make more farms. Very, very, very excited, very happy. I'd like to go home now and build something. It's actually been a few days since I filmed the video that you've just seen, and I have already done the building. If you remember, behind the new neighbourhood, I've got a new building using acacia, and I've made 2 other buildings that I would like to share with you. What I have to show you now is the medium-sized building and the small building. So enjoy. This is project number 3 in my list, and I'm very happy with it. So we've got 3 buildings that sit nicely in the environment because it's like an eco-friendly build. They're like self-sustaining buildings. No air conditioning needed because they've got lots of shade and lots of environment built into them. So that's the medium one, and that's the smaller one. And they're all in line with the big building. We've got a bit of a garden area with pumpkins and melons. I do want to put in some wheat and other produce, so it is like a very self-sustaining environment out here. So this is the small building. We've got some pots up in the window. They're actually sitting on the shelves. So they do look a bit odd, but I thought it would break up the top of the building a little bit, which is nice. We've got some more copper golems. This one I positioned like that because I thought it was funny, the first one that jumped up onto a pot and froze in that position. So he's been positioned. We've got some more vegetation, and I do need to wax. Actually, I might let that one oxidize because it's in the pot. It might look nicer if it looks aged, but all the other ones hanging up, I need to bring some more wax over from the bee farm to keep them orange because they match the build a lot nicer. But yeah, so it's the same sort of vegetation and decoration around it with the glow lichen and the glowberries and all those bits and pieces. The medium-sized build is very similar. I haven't decorated the inside yet. It's just a nice open plan. I will get to decorating these 3 buildings out this way at some point. So it's like a nice little society where they are self-sustaining. It's like an eco-friendly area. So I'm thinking maybe up here we'll have some farm, like a farm area for them to tend. The orange staircase. So this orange staircase coming down here pitters out when it gets to the green, because I do like the green grass. I want to keep the green grass, but it's going to pick up around the back, I reckon, and we'll have that orange path continue down this way in parts. I'm not sure if I'll continue that style of build along here or if they're going to be just a little hamlet by themselves. But I'm thinking it might be nice to do this sort of build like with the acacia out this way, because it would look really nice from the air, having the trees and the gardens on top of the roofs. So it might be a case that this area is all self-sustaining. That might be a nice designation for this area, where it's a big society who tend fields and make their own food, basically. I like it. It's very busy. It's very well lived in. I do need to get some beds and some villagers coming out this way, but that's something. I mean, we've had a couple of villagers get to the top of the staircase, but that's as far as they've roamed because there's no real beds out here. But they will find their way out sooner or later. So that's the latest build, project number 3. I'm going to say project number 3, I'm going to say it's finished because these 3 buildings were my original idea. If I extend them down that little path in the future, that's just an addition. That will be 3.1. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. We've had a look around at what I've been pottering around the server doing, and we've done some more building, which I'm really happy with. If you did, please hit the like button. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you've ever seen a fisherman buy raw cod. And I'll see you next time. Bye.